What a week it's been, and it still is. But thank you for taking a break out to join us on Cross-Pollination. What we're going to do on this show is talk to some people that are musicians and involved in music and pick their brains and share their work and just take a moment while we're all in separation, bring us together and maybe heal the nation. Maybe not, who knows? We're just going to have some fun and talk about music for a while. So I'm TJ Reynolds, and I want to thank you for joining in. I want to thank Matt and the crew behind the scenes. We've got 3 great guests today who are involved in the music industry in running labels and creating shows and opportunities for artists. And we're going to kind of just talk about their journeys and what they're doing. I will go ahead. Let's bring out our first guest. This is John Beeler, who helps run the label Asthmatic Kitty, home to such amazing artists as Lotto Negro, Sufjan Stevens, lots of really some of my absolute favorite artists. So let's welcome John Beeler to the show.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going with you?
Good. Thanks for joining us. I know it's been a crazy weekend. I think you're down at Atlanta, right? Okay,
Yep.
so I just want to take a second to thank Atlanta for all of the contributions that you've made over the years, including helping us to send the Orange Scourge packing. We appreciate that.
Well, that's the work of a lot of Black women who've been working tirelessly around the clock around the state. So, yeah, they deserve every bit of thanks for that. Yeah, but Atlanta, I'm happy to have pitched in as much as I could. It's been an honor.
Yeah, I know, I live in Massachusetts, and I vote, but I know that it's doesn't make a huge difference. I know or a lot of my family is in Indiana, and oh man, the turnout was amazing. In the center of the state, and it's amazing, and it's great to see. I think one of the great unifiers that we have is music.
For sure.
Until country music artists start taking a political stance, damn it. No, it's cool to see. So can you tell us about kind of how you're involved in Asthmatic Kitty, what your role is and how you came to be there?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with your last question. I came to be at Asthmatic Kitty Records because they needed someone to redo their MySpace page. So that's a lot of working at Asthmatic Kitty Records.
God, the politics of the top 8 is not a joke.
For real. And I think I made those modifications, got paid, and haven't touched it since, and yearn for it. There was a guy who reached out to the label over MySpace, and he is one of the best musicians I've ever heard. It was some guy in China, and that message is gone forever. And I've thought about his music over and over, and there's no way I could find it. There's just so what a loss. But over the years, I worked part-time on and off. I have a music background as well, at least a music, not playing music. I have a guitar, I know some chords, but got a communications degree, and that's totally useless. Worked at a radio and a TV station, also totally useless. But started running the label in 2010, 2011, went off and moved to Atlanta to work at MailChimp, and then left MailChimp a couple years ago and came back to running the label again. So I am the label director. We're really small. We don't have hardly anyone working for us. There's just a couple of us. We keep it lean and mean, and kind of do everything. Yeah, we've trimmed down the roster a little bit over the years. Some artists have gone to other labels. It's become a much more personal project of Sufjan's, who's my boss. He owns the label along with his stepdad Lowell. So I just do whatever they tell me and try to make sure that the people who want to hear music get to hear it. That's my job. Be the number one fan.
Yeah. So what attracts you to an artist? Like what catches you and makes you think that this is someone I want to have a relationship with? I want to like be behind and help build.
That's a great question, TJ. You know, I'll just say the number one thing is, having worked for Sufjan, I've learned that hard work is super underrated. Like he is the hardest working person I've ever met. And that's not to say that he's a workaholic. He just works very hard, and then he's not, and then he is again. And so for me, the number one determinant, and does the person have a future in music, is like, are they working their tail off all the time to achieve what they want to achieve? And I don't mean like that in a like corporate ladder kind of way. I just mean like, can they is there anything that they can't do except for that? Like they have to do it. It's like a requirement,
Yeah.
If they're not doing it, do they go crazy? Do they lose themselves? Is a better way to put it. So
yeah,
that's the biggest thing for me. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other stuff like skill, creativity, the ability to bring something new to the conversation of music. Yeah. Those are all really important. But if they're not willing to work hard, it's just not going to work. Like it might work out for them because there's a lot of luck, but it's not going to last. And
you can be into music, you could be into music, but if you want to be into the music business, you got to take the business side seriously. One of your artists I saw, it was either last year or the year before, out here at this place called the Milk Bar in Boston. And it was Helado Negro. Am I saying that right?
Helado Negro. And to clarify, Roberto was on our label. He's moved to Revenge, but we've the most of his back catalog. But he's a dear friend, and maybe we'll get to play one of his videos later. But yeah, he's fantastic. He's one of those guys that embodies everything that I just talked about. A super hard worker, hyper creative. Also, a big plus is he's one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. And that also makes a big difference. Yeah, I'm sure the show was amazing. Was he with his tinsel creatures then?
Yes, he was. Yeah, and it was great because I mean, I think he's a person that understands like the show is like the entire time you're there. Like even his presence, like he is in his like state even before the show, around the venue, everywhere, and it's really, he creates an amazing atmosphere with what he does. That's as important to me, I think, as the music he's creating is the atmosphere that it's creating. Yeah,
and Roberto is great because I'm sure a lot of that is a performance, but I got to tell you, like when I meet with him up in Brooklyn or whatever, and we go for a coffee, like that's just who he is. Like he has a vibe about him that's just like, like I can breathe, and so part of that is person, and some of that is performance, for sure. But I'm sure it was an amazing show.
Yeah, we have a video queued up from him. Would you like to introduce it?
Oh yeah. So I had a hard time picking a video, but I like this one a lot because there are probably better music videos, but there aren't many videos that really just capture Roberto's personality and his ability to bring people together, but also he's a very talented musician in his own right. So just hearing him with his guitar playing is a real treat. So this is and by the way, the music I chose for tonight was for this moment. So this particular song is about our country and where we're at and what we need to do to process it all. So Roberto is a good voice for that. So
this is Helado Negro. And the song is, what's the title of the song?
Oh man, which one did I send you? I think it's
You only sent me one Helado Negro song, right?
Yeah. But well, I changed my mind. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
just play it and we'll get into it. Yeah.
Okay. So is it okay, the Takeaway Show one?
Yep. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Cool.
Oh yeah, Pass Nubledo.
Can I go there too? Obsesionado con mi boca, habla sin respirar, despacio te digo, porque nos falta un tiempo más para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado. Para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado. And I haven't lost my mind thinking about you. And I haven't lost my breath shouting all the things we're about to do. And we'll take our turn, and we'll take our time, knowing that we'll be here long after you. Para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado. Para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado. Laughing longer, smiling harder, makes me feel feeling stronger, holding on to you. Para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado. Para pasear este país nublado, este país nublado.
Mm. Isn't that great?
TJ, you're muted, just so you know, man.
Of course I knew I was muted. What are you talking about? I think it's the first time I've done this. This is like, this happens like 8 times a class when I'm teaching. Like, you're muted. I like, oh, thanks, kid. But yeah, that just feels so good. That is like why music
It's so
exists,
good, right?
you know?
Can I read you what he said about the song in a Billboard article?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he says, we can reference the state of our country right now. It's this idea of longevity through resilience and understanding, no matter how much shit we go through. We, as in a lot of people of color and people who feel oppressed, how it can feel like this constant looming nothingness or just terribleness happening. And so what the song is about is like, look around. There are all these folks who are here with you. Maybe they're doing this stuff within the community that isn't represented in your commercially applicable world, but it's happening right now. And 10 years later, you're like, oh, look what's here. So it's just such I think that Roberto just his music has a way of just, I feel healed when I listen to his work. There's just a gentleness, but like a passivity, you know, it's a firm, solid, strong kindness. So to his music.
With a really strong groove to it.
Yeah. He's got like, you saw him live, like he gets that hip going, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to take this moment. We're going to bring out our second guest. This person I met when I moved out here to Boston and was creating hip hop events all throughout the greater Boston area, and Lynn, where he's from. And it really got to know him through something called the Subway Cypher, where, you know, tons of MCs and different producers would just gather in the subways in Boston and just create together. I've really been an admirer of what this person's been able to do musically and his hustle. So let's bring out Justice Bourne. Hey.
Peace. What's going on, TJ? What's going on, John?
Hey, Justice, how's it going, man?
Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you. Yeah. So thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Appreciate the beer backstage. That was nice little green room setup.
You know, we got to make everybody feel welcome. So that's how it goes. You know, John, you didn't get yours. Oh shit! I'm sorry, man.
You gave me a spin dress. What the hell, man?
You know, I just follow the writer that, you know, sent. So that's how it goes. But Justice, can you talk about? Give us a little introduction to kind of your world and all the different like little ventures, or I won't say little, but all the ventures that you have going on that you're spearheading.
Well, as you know, TJ, I'm involved in quite a few different projects, such as yourself, all art related. I love to keep active, involved in anything that has to do with creativity. So when you say what's going on in my world, it's all creation, creating things around me, creating opportunities, connecting dots between opportunities that other people have created, like this platform. It has to do with music every single day. Music and art, that's a daily dose.
Yeah. Did hip hop what brought you into music, or was it something before that?
I definitely have to give my mother credit for that. She's told me stories of putting headphones on her belly when she was pregnant with me. So that's something that I think just kind of impacted a lot of the way I think towards music, because I relate everything to music, whether it's developing a business, whether it's building and organizing community, whether it's creating a project. There's always some sort of musical component, because everything has a process to creation. And I look at process and rhythm, you know, having similarities. So I relate everything that I do and things around me to music in some capacity.
Yeah, cool. So, and I know you through Rec Shop movement, which is,
Yes,
you know, it's almost like a cultural phenomenon around here, where if you're around hip hop people and you call out Rec Shop, you know, you have a bunch of people movement, you know, come back, and,
you already know.
And it's a movement that you've started, and it's really about kind of unity in what people think of as a really competitive form of music. But to me, hip hop has been the most welcoming music scene that I've encountered since I kind of moved out east. So can I talk about what Rec Shop movement means to you?
Absolutely. What Rec Shop means to me is it's a huge part of who I am. It's a huge part of the way I think. It's also a huge part of the way I've decided to develop businesses rather, and the way I just go about things. It's number one, it's a mentality. Before it was a movement, it was actually just the name of a showcase. I shouldn't say just the name of a showcase, but it was the name of a hip hop showcase at a rec center. So you can see there was a little wordplay there, at a youth center, rec center, and I was kind of playing around with the letters. And rec shop being a slang term in hip hop, something that resonates with me as well as something that sounds destructive. But we know when you're a performing artist and you're on stage, you're wrecking shop, or the DJ's cutting it up on the records, or the breaker's breaking. There's no destruction. There's actually a creative element or creative activity that's happening. So what it means to me is it's a mentality. It's about creating to destroy the negative things that are in your life by focusing on something else that you can create. It's empowering, so that's definitely what it means to me. It's about an empowering mindset, lifting yourself up, but also not being afraid to fall down and fall forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what project are you most excited about right now, or what's something that's kind of getting you going?
Man, that's the thing. I'm trying to channel that excitement into one project, but it's spread out among a few different projects right now. But one that I'll say that I'm most proud of and I'm most excited to be a part of is the Jacob Lawrence. Actually, it's the Rec Shop Movement docu-series, but Jacob Lawrence is a huge factor in about 5 to 7 episodes of that. Jacob Lawrence is an artist. TJ knows he got to be a part of that exhibit at the Peabody Essex Museum, and we documented it, not just to say that we were there, but so that we could showcase the element of rap being a part of hip hop culture and touching on some of the things that were really relevant to Jacob Lawrence's exhibit, such as the American struggle, history in America, and the different perspectives from different sides and different angles. So I thought that project, being able to document that and put that out there, that would be really impactful. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. Just putting the trailer out there got people aware of who Jacob Lawrence was and asking questions about when the next exhibit was. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and yeah, that exhibit, it was an artist who was really instrumental in the civil rights movement, and the Peabody Essex Museum put together a collection of this series that had never been fully collected. And then it went on to New York, and I remember recently seeing there was an article of somebody that saw this exhibit, and they said, "Oh, wait a second! I think I know somebody that has one of the missing pieces," and that ended up being one of the missing pieces. Yeah. So, but so I think you mentioned we have the trailer for the Jacob Lawrence exhibit, and what essentially was a hip hop artists freestyling and interacting with the art live in the gallery and interacting with other visitors that were there through hip hop. So let's watch that trailer so people can get an idea of what it is, and then you have like other episodes of it coming out in the future, right? Cool. All right, let's check it
out. We do have some more interviews that we need to do with a few other participants.
Yeah, it's for the Jacob Lawrence exhibit. Just come to the front desk. Tell me what Rec Shop Movement. All right, peace. Yo, guys, we can head inside right now. It's go time.
Jacob Lawrence is one of the most renowned Black American painters of the 20th century. His vibrant and bold paintings tell stories of liberation, resistance, and resilience. Now more than 60 years later, 25 of his 30-panel series called Struggle, From the History of the American People, was on display at Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts, and Rec Shop Movement was invited to exhibit the art of rap while engaging with Jacob's art in the audience.
Gods. Liberation is what our people pursuing. Warm with Babylon's plans of you and us mutants. I'm fluid with the ghetto hieroglyphics sprayed by the truest since my earth left. All my days been the bluest. Yo, this game of life is ruthless. For those without controllers, you know them EBT babies in the WIC card holders. Ghosts right dark as North Korean nights captured by satellites with more patience than Christians waiting on the return of Christ. Claim the crown of Othello, bellowed in godly medals. Youngest never seen a bench lifting heavy metal disheveled. I would have told him aiming at the devil, but he's summoned full of air, cause cousin God level. Some call it natural selection, a God-sick experiment. I'm C4 wired with elements forced by arrogance.
That's understandable. Often the one giving orders don't know the commandments. Politics, just some of the many things. You don't stand for nothing, then you fall for anything. But that's the Rack Shop, we still moving. Rack Shop. Rack Shop. Rack Shop. Rack. So just looking at how people can express with pictures the same way like me as an artist who express with words. So we kind of do the same thing. Sometimes it's not really about the words that you use, but it's how you use it. Like with him, it's not much of what the drawing is, but what the drawing is saying. So I just can relate as an artist, see what he does with the picture. Like the way he does with the pictures is really what I do with the words. And in other ways, like his pictures was like words. So it's not much of what it looks like, but what he's saying by looking at those pictures. So that was very important.
I think, yeah, I'm not muted. I think that's a great, that's a great example of kind of your skill to bridge different worlds and bring people together in a way like that, because, you know, that's a cool partnership to partner with a museum in that way and have them trust you to let artists kind of create in that moment, and to have that network of people that you can call on to do a residency of a few days of doing that, you know? So yeah, props to that.
Well, thank you for sharing that and for having me on the show.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I think we'll let's bring out our next guest, Nicole Porter. I know from Indianapolis, but really I know her from her moves that she's making in the hip hop scene. She recently started her own label, Porterhouse Records, and put together an album really of her dream team of producers and rappers, and she combined people that she knew that were local with, you know, people that she admired, and put together a really solid project. So let's welcome Nicole Porter to the show.
Hey guys.
Hey, Nicole.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for being here. The crowd goes wild.
No doubt.
So yeah. So you have recently really just launched Porterhouse Records, right? Or Porterhouse Productions, I should say.
January.
Okay, so tell us about kind of like what went into making this, you know, from an idea you might have had into a record that people can spin on their turntable.
Well, basically it started, I've been a long-time consumer and supporter, and I'm sure you guys know the power of social media now. I mean, it's been my whole life that I've been a supporter, but now it's just, there's an intimacy in being able to communicate online with, you know, the people that you're buying music from. And so I just essentially had an established rapport with artists that I love, and, you know, buying records, you know, they reach out and they say thank you. And then you realize that genuine people, and the exchange of energy just becomes very organic. And so specifically with Rim, formerly of the DeVillains, he was Sean Price's protege, essentially. We became good friends, and he approached me one time about essentially doing like some A&R type stuff for him. And I'm, you know, juggling teenagers and work, and I'm going to school. So it was like, yeah, like, let's just see what that looks like. And I flew to New York, and we had lunch, and the energy was so dope that we were just like, yo, we should just start like a whole company. And we had, you know, that was like on a Friday or a Saturday. And by May we had our LLC, and we were reaching out to, you know, anyone from Buck Wild to Big Ghost. I mean, so many people, and we had the concept of essentially putting out a compilation, because it's like people don't need labels anymore. You know, it's completely independent. There's a lot of, you know, you can do it on your own. Why would people trust us? Why would people, you know, think about working with us. So it was like, let's put something out that people are like, yo, this was ill. So now we know that they like what we like, or they're in that niche that we like. So we basically 36 MCs, and I think it's about 9 or 10 producers. And we tried to, I mean, I'm not going to front. I basically picked the people I love. It was very selfish. It was a love project because for as long as I've loved hip hop culture overall, I was just like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, like, I'm going to be completely just like, do it kind of for myself, like as a dream. So Rim was totally with it and tapped into his network. And we came up with Steak and Potatoes, which is, I think it's 12 tracks. It's really dope. We paired people that had never worked together before. So I think that's the draw for it, is like, you might love Knack, you might love The Cloth and Mooch and everybody, but maybe they haven't done tracks together. And so we paired people that we were like, yo, we've never heard anybody rhyme together, or, you know, I've never heard such and such rhyme over a Buck Wild beat, or, and then I also, like you said, tapped into Indianapolis folks, because we don't get that love. You know, people don't realize that there's really talented people in Indianapolis. So yeah, so tapped into 2 Indianapolis MCs and 2 producers. I actually think you had Methadone Clinic on Cross Pollination a couple weeks ago, maybe, or last month.
The first episode, yep.
Right. So he did 2 tracks on the album, shot videos, and now everybody's just like, you know, behind it. So like picked up natural momentum. You know, we shot a video of Pirate and Guilty Simpson, and, you know, I'm a long time like fan, like have to get my fan for a second. And then they're like, yo, like whatever help you need, like let us know. And you're just like, what? So it's kind of like going forward, just picking up projects here and there and doing maybe some more like distribution type setups until we figure out where we're gonna go.
Nice. Yeah, I think it'd be a good. Let's share a video. Did you send a link our way?
Okay.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
I don't know if Matt can see. Flu is probably the first single that we shot. That video gets a lot of love. It's a very dope video. So if you want to share Avion Flu, that would be fly.
All right. Let's share the Avian Flu.
I came a long way, I had to grind. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Been out here going hard, getting mines. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I'ma eat on the beat or on the streets. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I grind hard, get the dough, then repeat. I don't know about you. I don't know about you.
In a game full of blurred lines, but grew up outside where you live where your word lies, or down that curb line. So whenever my nerves try, I know how my curb rides. So for y'all's sake, this arms race, this me swerving by. Word to the wise, my crown is solidified, vilified, but had to have it. Shit can get ugly like Atlanta traffic. I handle that and be done. Know where I had to leap from. Shit is like Omar whistling when you see my Jeep come. Word to the blocks I be from. Opposite what you see now, and my friends riding with birds in the back like how the beat sounds. Sucking fly like D Brown, just as high as you need now. Where youngins think O's fall out the sky like they was rebounds. I write for how that scene sounds. Believe in what you see now. Eyes closed where they ride slow. I turn the beat down. Product of my beliefs now. Peep how I played the bar, raised the bar, lifted up, and erased the odds. I'm off for me now.
I came a long way, I had to grind. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Been out here going hard, getting mines. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I'ma eat on the beat or on the streets. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I grind hard, get the dough, then repeat. I don't know about you. I don't know about
Yo,
you.
look, the realest thing a nigga can do for me is to teach me the ropes. I take that over Prada person, some weave in a coat. Sat on a throne with a crown and both of my feet on their throats. Test the waters, you gotta learn how to breathe till you float. Compare me to Big in his prime. I was a kid at the time. Me and my mother, my father split, he ain't give us a dime. I made it out, but he don't get no credit. He ain't help get me here. The only thing that nigga gave me was my pretty hair. He ain't take no time out taking me to them city fairs. Just from rapping in 3 months, I got about 50 clear. So I'ma charge these rappers per sentence and rhyme. Leave with a bag big enough to put a midget inside. I'm busy, so I call my goons up to settle with beef. And they ain't sleeping until they bringing your head back to me. Yo, that's just my violent nature, call it Thriller the Hunt. And I'm the best alive, and these bitches can feel how they
I
want.
came a long way, I had to grind. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Been out here going hard, getting mines. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I'ma eat on the beat or on the streets. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I grind hard, get the dough, then repeat. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I came up with snakes and gorillas. From the slums, I'm a dealer. Can't show no feelings, found hitters. Had to toughen up, nigga. Best out Brooklyn where the kid grind at. Bunch of niggas put the Jordan on your face like a Chris Brown tat. Had to struggle, build muscle, tussle, and hustle to reach the top. And the block was hot. We had the plot to get our spot, yeah. So niggas just can't step up to the plate. You gon' become the plate. Tryna fuck with the one that is great. Dark past, but my future bright. Shining gold and conquer all. Name reign supreme, man, Samusa like. Stay clear, snakes, unless they the Medusa type. And fuck with winners, not pretenders, moving loser like. From the bottom to the top, we gon' rock for the block and the ab. Middle finger to cops, they can't stop us from chasing this cash. This what we do, nigga, this nothing new. Nigga, I'm busting moves, they'll tell you. I came a long way, I had to grind. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Been out here going hard, getting mines. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I'ma eat on the beat or on the streets. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I grind hard, get the dough, then repeat. I don't know about you. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
That was good. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of it.
That was dope.
nasty.
That was real dope.
That was really good.
Thank
Super
you.
nasty.
I appreciate it.
Oh man. Yeah. So
That was a
I
vibe.
think
After
it's,
this, I'm going back to that video. So
Right, word. Thank you. No doubt. Please
yeah,
do. I'm like,
for
I'm
sure.
totally
No, I'll
peeping the
definitely
trailer.
I'll share that for
Yeah,
sure.
all
That's
that.
love.
Yeah,
Please.
it's
Yep.
just filled. It was filled with beautiful imagery too, and it's. I think what the three of you guys have in common is something I think that's essential to a music scene that a lot of times people don't realize is like the connectors, the people that bring everybody together. You know, you like create opportunities for that videographer and that producer and that voice and all of that. To come together and everybody benefit from it. And I think that is I don't know. I just think that's really powerful.
Word. It's fun too.
That's the
That's
motivation.
the fun part.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's just like how a cook feels in the kitchen. You have all these different ingredients, you pull it together. Not only are you feeling proud of what you created, but everyone else around, if it's good, they're gonna be like, wow, it's a good feeling. It's a dopamine rush.
That's a good metaphor. Is it a metaphor or an analogy? I don't know.
I'm not
it's a good methodology. Because I love to cook, and that there's that feeling when people help out and things come together and somebody enjoys it. That's music right there. It's like you've nourished somebody.
Right.
But you haven't just given them sustenance, like you've given them joy. If you've done your job right.
For sure.
That's a good meta analogy.
That is the biggest. That is the dopest payoff. I would totally agree. Is that I can think of several projects that are coming out of this compilation simply from connecting the dots. And as someone that doesn't, of course, I want the label to be sustainable and profit essentially, but the real motivation is the love and like being a part of it. And so connecting those dots is really why I'm here. And so to hear that's happening behind the scenes is like, yo, that's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that act of connecting to people, you know, that haven't heard it. Like, we just put out a pretty big record, and it's easy when you're dealing with numbers and Spotify is trying to call you up and work on stuff. You're like, all right, what's the main thing here? And it's like, we just want to find the people that would have wanted to listen to it. That's it. You know, we don't want to we want to be financially sustainable, but we just want to find the people that would have loved this, and they're out there. We want to get to those people, and the people that don't want to hear it, we don't want them to hear it. You know,
that's interesting the way you word that too. It's almost like a mission, and I kind of use that example with a lot of so-called underground artists too that think that I just want people to hear my music, and they think that it's like a small pocket of their friends and family are the only ones that want that because that's who's supporting them. When the reality is, there's a world of people out there that want to hear your music. You just got to find them. And where are they? You got to go out there or have other dot connectors out there finding them.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you could be like a huge artist, you know, but it's still, you got to bring 300 people out in the city or whatever it is, you know, whatever, you know, point you're at, you know, it still boils down to finding those people in all of this, all of the people that are out there and all of the music that's out there, you know. So how do you find your people? What do you do?
Me
Man, it's
specifically?
tough.
Or all of us? Yeah. Go ahead, guys.
You go, Nicole.
I mean, like I said, I picked people that I was fans of first and foremost, and like we just the last frame, the last verse on that song that you heard was Eddie Kane. He's from Bed-Stuy, and you saw Rim doing his ditty dancing like he does in so many of our videos at this point, who's my partner. But they just had an album, BK Caminantes, that came out with fully produced by IMT2, which is super fly. And so finding the people is just like the snowball of like, okay, we did this, now they want to work and they're affiliated with the crew, and then they bring their people in, and then it's like, do you want to do this? And so it really is just organic. Like I want it to be organic, and I want it to be people that share good energy, and I don't want it to be like, this fits, you know, I want to monetize this. I do, let's not front about that, but like at the same time, like I really just want the organic energy to be there for not only myself. Like I told Rim, it's like, I really don't want to work with people I don't vibe with. He's like, that's kind of not real. I'm like, no, it's real. Like I really just want to work with people that love what I love. And
that's a tough one.
It is tough, but that's okay. I'm good with weeding it out.
Yeah, for sure. Respect.
Yeah.
And I know there's some overlap.
Organically find people.
Yeah, because I know you got Nicole and Justice have both worked with SDNAC, right?
Oh yeah, I used to help. I guess you could say co-manage when his manager at the time. This is years ago. This is like 2008, 2009, maybe, or maybe even before that, 2007 probably. His manager in the Pro Track Studios used to, you know, we were good friends. You know, we're all friends. ST and our friend, his cousin Kevin, used to ask for a lot of advice and stuff, and I used to joke with him and be like, "Are we co-managing? Or are you managing and I'm consulting? Like, what's going on?" Either way, we have to make sure that ST gets out there, because we got this shit is dope and people need to hear this. And we know that a lot of music we listen to and our friends listen to, when we put them on to similar to his music, that similar artists that they're listening to similar artists, it's a match. You know what I mean? So we know it's going to be the same in California and Hungary and Germany. It's just because they're rocking with similar music to STNAC. But the thing about him is he don't fit in a box. So maybe next year he'll have a new flavor. He'll have a new style. So, because I've seen him over the years, like interchangeable flows and the knowledge and the lyric content. It's just so vast, you know?
I think you have to have a balance between keeping content out there, you know, and making sure that you're putting stuff out because it's ready and you want to, and it's time to do it. You know?
I know ST close, and he don't think like he does have that artistic create a masterpiece mentality. I've seen him work on projects like that, and they don't get released until the time is right.
Mhm.
But I've also seen him in the studio. If the vibe is right, it's record, mix, like put it out. It's a constant flow.
Yeah.
Dumping music out there, like
Yeah.
he's letting off rounds.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
I
that's
kind
a
of wish
different-
it wasn't like that now.
Yeah.
I kind of wish
think-
everyone wasn't trying to keep up with releases every 3 to 4 weeks, every other month. It makes it really hard. I'm like, this month I'm going to stop buying records. I'm not going to buy anything. 9 projects drop in a month that you have to buy. But it also is difficult to sit with the project, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the projects are shorter and songs are shorter. And so sometimes you're just like,
Right.
I want 30 days with this album. But if you're going to
Yeah.
spend
Right.
30 days with an album, that means you've lost 10 other albums in the mix. And so there's
Yeah.
part of that I'm just like, I wish people would chill for just a second.
Well,
it's
you know
like,
what?
it's like when, oh, go ahead.
No, John, go ahead. Take the floor, man.
It's like when you're at that restaurant or the venue or the gig or whatever, and everybody's talking, so everybody gets louder and everybody gets louder, and like before long, your ears are ringing and your voice is gone. We're at that point now where it's just like the Spotify CEO is like, just release content, and it's like, man, at some point, you got to breathe. I'm a believer in like freneticism and energy, and like you follow it, and if it's wild and crazy and chaotic, just flow with it. But like at the same point, that is not sustainable for any human being alive, and somehow that pressure to create, it's going to lead to dysfunction, if it hasn't already. So
It's interesting how that old saying, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? When you add technology into the mix, I think it changes the whole dynamic, right? Because now you have artists trying to make Spotify songs because the tech side, it facilitates a connection with a broader audience, right? When you match their protocols. So there's still a process. And I know what you're saying, Nicole, about artists and making shorter songs now is because they're seeing like, okay, this is working. It's not about the artistic quality of it. It's not about the value of the art itself. I think the music business and the art business, there's similarities, but there's so much difference as well. And depending on how people look at monetizing their music as art or monetizing it as music, I think is going to determine the model that they go with. Like subscription-based models, where you have artists like Ryan Leslie. I mean, that's I think one of the best ways to do it. That's fan direct. Like you were saying earlier, you don't need the labels. If anything, the label is like, you got a team around you to help you. That's the difference between someone saying, I'm working with a team, and someone saying, I don't need nobody, I got myself. Both are true. It's just good to have a team too, especially if they really care about the art and they're trying to do it. Nicole said she's trying to do is, monetize it, but also not lose the artistic integrity of it. And I think that's the balance.
Yeah, TJ, you use that word. I use it today, content. I had a friend who was doing a show for Netflix, and all the boardrooms are like, we need content. It's like the word, and content is for consumption, but like music and art, that's for consideration. It's different things. It's like content, you just eat it up and you shit it out, But like music and art, when you consider it, it becomes a part of you. It sticks around.
And what's interesting is in that process, what somebody needs to do is tell some of those people like, hold on a minute, we're going to get you a song. And then you get a creative videographer, a video editor, and you chop up the song and all the content that you want. And you go wild with it. You know what I mean? And we'll license the song for that purpose. So when someone says I need content, they usually think that that's like really aggressive form of getting a creative piece. That I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can hear it in a lot of songs. You're like, that's a throwaway.
That's content. That's good content.
That's good content, but that's a throwaway.
Oh, I'm so sorry that my producer right now is texting me like crazy, telling me I need to put up more content right now. So, John, you had shared another
We
video.
need more heads going back and forth.
Yeah, do you want me to share something like that's on the label, or let me share? Can I put it in the chat and kind of mix
That's
things
perfect
up?
timing.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me see if I've got it here.
Matt, stop texting me, dude. We're working on it.
You said memes and gifs.
I thought of this, Justice, when you were talking about bringing people together. And this is a good video that we put together. All right, I'm dropping it in there for you now, Matt. During extreme lockdown. So everybody was super socially distanced. We did everything green screen. But it brought all these kinds of people. Like we had this crew in Atlanta with Jalea, she might actually be 15 now, but when she filmed it, she was 14. And she choreographed the dance, and Stephen was like, we've got to get her on. We found this amazing director, animator who lives in Brooklyn. She worked from her house the whole time, barely left. Oh, this is the wrong one. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'm totally messing with the show.
Yeah, it's all good. We're just super excited now. This is like the election.
Yeah, it's going to take me. I'm going to Nevada.
This is an excitement moment. The other shit was tense.
Oh, shit. They just called it. They just called for a pizza. It's on the way. They ordered the pizza, and the pizza, they called for it. It's coming.
You know what's funny when you see the comment just pop up there? Crazy Freddy, shout out to him. That's my big bro. But I seen it. I thought when you said order a pizza and then that popped up, I thought it was an advertisement. I was gonna say TJ's flexing. He's got the ad pop up.
Speaking of monetize,
right?
So I think Matt's got it, but you don't have to play the whole thing. We can fade out whenever because you all have some great music I want to hear too. So how long we got, TJ?
I don't know, Matt. Do we have to have a hard stop at 9?
Hard stop? Is there a hard stop?
I mean,
at 9. Why did I say we're old?
Hi, everybody.
Hey!
I'll just hop in. The next show doesn't start till 10:30, so you've got a little bit of time.
So we'll push a little bit. We won't take everybody's whole night, but we'll push a little bit. So yeah,
is this right?
As long as you get content, right, Matt?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Matt. I'm so sorry.
I have that content. I got a text. I've been texting like crazy.
Nice. All right, let's check out some Sufjan.
Into it. I don't care if it's a popular refrain. I don't wanna be a puppet in a theater. I don't wanna play your video game. You don't wanna be the one who has to pay for it. You don't wanna be the one who has to change. All you want is what the resume tells you. I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play. If you won't receive it, I don't wanna save the world that way. I don't wanna be your personal Jesus. I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna put the devil on a pedestal. I don't wanna put the saints in chains. I just wanna make my life a little easier. I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play a video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play a video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play a video game. I don't wanna play, I procedure. So go ahead and play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play your video game. I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play, I don't wanna play your video game.
Jalea is such a badass. She is such a badass.
That was dope. That was a really dope production.
Hey,
Like,
dope.
how long did that take you guys to put together?
It took us a while, and it was all done. So we hired Nicole Janelli. She's this amazing animator, done a couple other music videos, but this was like big even for her. And we were like Sufi was like, let's get Jalea. Jalea choreographed the Renegade dance that ended up being huge on TikTok, and people totally riffed off it. This was K Camp song, but like she didn't get credit for it for like 6 or 7 months. Nobody was giving her any credit. I guess she would have been 13 years old, but it was super viral
for the song.
for the song. So Sufi was like, we want, let's get Jalea to choreograph the song.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we pulled her down, and just what you were talking about before, bringing people in, giving basically paying them cash money. Like there's the costume designer that she brought along. Her mom, helped her with choreography and makeup, and like there was the grip and the camera, like it just all these people. It was just such a gift to be able to like, all right, we have this budget for this record, and we're giving it to people. We're not spending it on advertising for Facebook or whatever. We're actually paying people to create something and put in their own vision to something. So it is
that was really dope. What I wanted to comment on really quickly about that video is, even though I'm looking at a two-dimensional screen, it kind of brings you into a three-dimensional space. Yeah. And I've been talking with some VR developers recently and kind of pitching some ideas to get music incorporated with the VR space. And I could see a video like that if you had a headset on. You'd be seeing the whole 360 degrees, not in your video game. That would be wild for a listener.
Yes, and Nicole, if you check out Nicole's webpage, NicoleJanelli.com, she did a video just like that uses VR. We didn't do that here because we couldn't afford it. but you can tell, though, Justice, that's what she was thinking about. When she was going through the environments, there's things happening that we don't see in the world.
I dig it. Dope production.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it reminds me of a Mind's Eye. Do you remember that video from the 80s? Like the long.
Yeah. This is some good references.
Is anybody else getting an echo?
Yep.
Okay.
A little bit.
I think let's take this moment. We'll work on the tech, and let's play Nicole's next video. What do you have for us, Nicole?
We can play Barracuda. This is a video that we shot in Detroit with Knowledge the Pirate and Guilty Simpson and Lord Juco during quarantine. Ooh. So we had to piece some parts together because Juco wasn't allowed to leave Toronto. So, but it came together very, very, very
cool.
Big ghost beat, by the way.
Nice. Barracuda.
I can't wait with that name.
No doubt.
Shit. Knowledge the Pirate, Lord Juco, Guilty Simpson, Big Ghost on the track.
Yellow's Delight.
Don't become a target of these marksmen. I eat your porridge, unload the cartridge. Heads that get severed cause my sword is sharpened. He found his body in a dirty apartment, rolled up in a carpet. We copped a good coke, Lord, so we're able to stretch it. Jumped in that big body Benz from a Dodge Intrepid, discharging weapons on any nigga that's talking reckless. Just for the record. Versace jacket with the belt made out of leopard. I'm cut from a fucking cloth that's different. I got 4 5s and 5 9s in a stash spot, blowing on gas, driving down 8 Mile High. Damn, it feels good to bring that feeling back. Riding through the hood, banging Big Ghost and Jay Dilla tracks. Spilling gin and juice, feeling like Dre and Snoop. Yelling R.I.P. to Dilla and Proof.
I say I'm living off ifs, I'm living off wins. My future was never in my hands. I had to leave behind friends. Made amends, kept it moving. You are what you consuming, what you doing in the bins. This shit confusing. I don't even get it. I'm losing patience. I know greatness when I see it. My reflection revered. My confession is clear. Lord trust his gut and he don't question his ear. But I hear everything, I know you fear everything. So I'm pressing my oppressors with the strength of compressor. Professional like a professor. When I'm applying pressure, you can't measure up. Gorilla glue to the head, still I'm never stuck. Stay loose, play goose and forever duck. These pussy boys rap like they never fuck. Extra mad when the weather suck. Man, that's never us. Never. Trust me, 20,000 hours, I ain't lucky.
Yo,
working.
I used to rock black Air Ones with the gum bottoms. Vampire when the sun got them. Painful death. I don't respond to your hateful text, but just know when I catch you, I'ma break your neck, break the bank. My intention exactly, I'm fully loaded. While you're setting's a factory, you pissed off the track leak. I don't give a shit, I guess they got it early. I copped the 30 from my dog, who got the birdies. I got the word, he got the plug on who got them dirty. Shit, give me 2, sick with the Henny flu. Smoking with my mans out in River Rouge. You sleep more when I hit the snooze. Riff raff off of liquor booze. Lit a half doing interviews. Lead slinger, looking like a person you beefed with before. Standing at your front door, dead ringer.
So good, so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
That's
This
a Barracuda
the
shit.
best hip hop. The best hip
For
is
sure.
just so creative and just so you know. It's I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah, we it was excruciatingly hot that day. Like so Ty Ferris is in the video, Catch P, they both put out some really dope projects. So it was just awesome that everybody was willing to come out. And I'm out there like the redhead, like I need sunscreen. Somebody give me a towel. This is terrible. And they all were like total troopers about shooting the video. It was a very dope experience to be encouraged by Guilty and Knowledge, especially too. Just legends.
So are you directing the video? Or are you producing and bringing everybody together? What are your roles in the video there?
It's more bringing everybody together, finding directors. You know, it's Porterhouse's slogan is premium cuts. So everything that we try and do is based on something being, you know, of higher quality. So we sifted through a bunch of videographers for all 3 of the videos that we've done. And I wanted to do it not all in the same location. It seems like we have a lot of videos coming out of New York. So I was like, let's go to Detroit for Guilty. Let's go to Atlanta for Sky. Let's, you know, film a video track with Daniel Son and Jay Nice and Jay Cyanide that we were going to fly to Toronto to film, but Corona. So that didn't happen. So mostly executive producing type, just connecting the dots.
Yeah, so many moving parts to bringing something like that together. It's amazing.
I had no idea.
It is, and you know what's dope about it too? It is sometimes now, like I'll still find stuff on YouTube about a photographer, for example, that worked with, you know, renowned artists that we grew up listening to, right? But we never knew about the photographer, the videographer, or the dot connectors behind the scenes. And I think it's real interesting to learn about that as we go, you know, who these people are and stuff. So salute to you guys.
Yeah. And also, you're working with like visual artists as well, right? Not just musical artists.
Me?
Justice?
Are you talking to me? Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking
anything art, music, man. This is, I live it. I love it. You know, so the visual artist, As far as like what capacity right now, currently, I'm not working with a specific visual artist.
Okay.
But in the past, all our events, open mics, showcases, stuff like that, we've welcomed artists to set up a canvas. They can paint on site. They can sell their canvases. They can sell T-shirts, their prints, stuff like that. So we're always supporting artists. We always got space for them.
Yeah, yeah. And tell us, let's get another video from your camp, from you. What do you have? I know you sent us a couple. So what are you feeling like sharing right now?
I think, well, I'm excited, like I said earlier, about a few different projects that I'm working on. One that Rec Shop Movement just sponsored was the LFOD Alumni Cyphers. This is the 6th annual. So there's a bunch of artists on there. Like, there's way too many to name. So if you want to share that clip, it's the 6th annual LFOD Alumni Cyphers.
Before we throw to it, what is LFOD? Can you?
Live Free or Die Radio. That's a radio station run by Uncle Sam. I think he's got some new hosts that's a part of his platform. So
that's not a euphemism. That's the guy's name. He goes by
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the homie.
RT Radio.
That's the homie. He runs a really dope radio station. I believe it's New Hampshire.
Okay.
And, yeah, Live Free or Die Radio. And he's been doing the Alumni Cyphers for a little while now. We've been sponsoring. I think this is our 2nd or 3rd year. But we'll be sponsoring again next year. Every time it comes around, we look forward to sponsoring this. So if we're not producing it, Rec Shop Movement is definitely looking for cultural events, cultural activities, and even cultural artifacts. Like the other project we're sponsoring was Planeta Blue from Tim Blessed out in, I believe he's out in New Bedford.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll go to the LFOD Cypher and check out a bit of that and the way that you use art to kind of create community as a way to bring community together. I think it's really beautiful. So here it is.
Thank you.
You are now tuned in to LFOD Radio. I am your host, Uncle Sam, and this is the 6th annual LFOD Alumni Cypher Series. Every year, we invite all our past guests back for the ciphers. Normally, it's on FM live. We did things a little bit differently this year, but I'm amped to say we pulled it off. Everybody came through, and I'm real excited to get into it. Before we do that, got to shout out some folks who helped make it possible. First and foremost, the Beat Club podcast. For the past 3 years, they have been collecting the beats for us, putting a call out to their producer audience. They've been sifting through them, sending the best of the bunch to us, which we then send to the MCs. What we did in the past was artists would let us know their favorite beats. Then we'd organize individual ciphers around that. But this year we just sent the music and more. That's LFODradio.com. We'll keep it simple. And finally, huge shout out to all our patrons and everybody out there working to create the future they want to see. Without further ado, we're going to get into the ciphers. You're tuned in to LFOD Radio.
Randy Blaze is a conqueror. Actual nigga, I'm real popular. Digging that you can see me on niggas binoculars. Close the cipher like blockbuster. The way I read words help philosophers. They be thinking I'm stuck up, but the queen don't speak to commoners. Need to check with the chromosome. You see the titties in front of run the city like a stunner. I eat your top two, you wanna I am the best bitch out here to do it. Name a bitch that I ain't influenced. How did you get on? Who is you scoring? Shit is hey, don't go straight what you doing. IG models. Get inside for they body type, but they don't race, so don't believe the hype. If you feel some kind of way, I'm 17 up the pipe. Best believe that it is on sight. You will get a $150, cause a bad bitch like me is way too pretty to fight. I can go, drop the top of me fold. God body can't fit the mold. Hit it twice, he ain't never fold. I can go, drop the top of me fold. God body can't fit the mold. Hit it twice, he ain't never fold.
That was so good. Randy crushed that. As you can see, there's like 26 minutes of artists just going in. Now, they usually do that in the studio, but given the times, you know.
Yeah.
But shout out to LFOD for keeping it rocking, keeping the cipher going.
Yeah, you got to do what you can to bring people together, in safe ways right now. I think that's really what kind of birthed me wanting to create this show, and just talk and feel the vibe with different artists, because it's just really energizing and inspiring to hear what everybody's up to and to see the projects that you guys are working on.
Oh, thank you, TJ.
Word, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it was really great.
It's good to meet you guys.
I heard a lot of amazing music, so I've got a lot of links to go chase down after this.
Yeah, we got
No
some
doubt.
connecting
Yeah,
with you for sure.
yeah. It's been beautiful, and I definitely, everybody feel free, chase the artists. We've been sharing the social media stuff, and we'll throw it down one more time. And do you guys have any closing words or anything you want to say before we say goodnight for the evening? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, go to fairfight.com. Yeah,
Thanks
check
for
it
having
out. Georgia needs more help in the next couple of months. So I don't want to get all super political, but Fair Fight, Stacey Abrams, voting rights organization.
Yeah. It's like the whole Senate lies in the balance right now. So it's crazy the way it's worked out.
Yep.
It's a battleground like crazy.
Yep.
So yeah. Cool. Sweet. All right.
Last thing I just want to say, treat people well. Anybody who's listening at home, treat people well, do right by each other. That's all.
Yeah.
Hopefully our politics will follow if we start treating each other well.
Yeah, and let it be inspiring to you. I mean, kind of just hearing the way that that John, Nicole, and Justice bring people together, creative people together, and just how much more powerful we are when we create together, when we create community in any way that we can. So I thank you for coming on and cross-pollinating with us. I'm TJ Reynolds. We want to say thank you to Matt backstage for running everything beautifully. I really appreciate that, and always sending me the messages like, "Hey, what's happening? We doing this?" So
create some more content.
Yeah, content.
Right.
Gotta do it. So tune in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with a lot more content for your ass. And I'm TJ Reynolds, and we will see you later.
Peace.